Hello everyone, this is Blender Guppy. In this video, I'm going to test all the updated features that was in Random Flow version 2.0. So let's see how we can combine all these features to create a single project. So I was planning on just creating a simple sci-fi cylinder and then with a few installation of cloth on the sides, and then for the insides I'm going to create a bunch of cubes that I can turn into rocks using quick displacement. Okay, going to front view and rotating these to 90 degrees and then scaling it to the x-axis. So I'm going to increase the resolution of this edge loop and turn it into a circle. So okay, auto mirror X, Y, and Z is 8 and auto smooth. Okay, so let's try and open up this geometry. Actually, let's use the mirror, apply the mesh, and get this face. So select this faces here. So this will be the open lid, and P to separate. And let's use this. Snap the 3D cursor there, and rotate this using the 3D cursor as the pivot point. And I'm going to rotate this in object mode. So this way I can reset the rotation. Oops. Okay, reset rotation. Rotation. Clear rotation. Clear rotation. Hmm. 0, 0. There we go. So that's our open lid. And let's give this geometry's thickness. Draw modifiers. Use solidify. Oh, it only works on the active object. So 0.05. And same here. Use solidify modifier. 0.05 as well. And then we're going to apply the solidify modifier. So it becomes a real mesh. And we establish the mirror on the main body of the cylinder. So XY. So only the XY. So it doesn't get rid of the open lid. Okay. So now we have our base. I'm going to translate this a bit towards the x-axis so we can have the cloth right here. There we go. Let's just get rid of this. So this will be the cloth area. I'm going to save it as cylinder 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's start designing the cylinder or the canister in this case. There we go. Okay, so selecting these faces. Let's try the random loop extrude. See what we get. Okay. Random panels. Get rid of the center line and get rid of the banding. Limit to dissolve. And the only disadvantage of this, if you use limited dissolve, is that you also get rid of the quad structure of the mesh. If you don't use limited dissolve on higher subdivision on cylindrical surfaces, you can see the banding already formed right here. This is the effect of using the subdivision script. It doesn't work like subsurf, so we're just going to use limited dissolve to get rid of that. And for this, I'm going to use radial. Try to up the subdivision. Let's try and introduce some notches. So they have the possibility of going to the using a size of 5 faces. Increase the inset, the depth. Okay, so that looks good. So the next update, I already have one for the next update, the mark sharp only. This is for post random flow version 2.0. So after 2.0. So if you click this, you only get the mesh, the pattern, instead of the geometry, you get the faces from the source geometry subdivided, but with the resulting panel cut patterns as mark sharp edges. And then you can add or subtract sharp, add or subtract patterns. So if the resulting pattern doesn't go to your liking, you can always extract it and add your own. So the mark sharp edges will be the one that's going to be the panel cut. Control E, mark sharp, and you can use selecting all the faces. You can use random panels for this. You have to set the panel size to 100% to only leave the edges that are marked sharp. If you decrease the panel size, then the randomization will kick in along with the mark sharp edges. So you can combine these two. Or you can use panel cutter, make it faster. That doesn't have, oh, it doesn't have, this doesn't have limited dissolve. I should add limited dissolve here as well. But yeah, you may be able to use random panels or panel cutter for this one. So let's just use let's just use random panels for this at the moment. So we have our edited part right there. So you can see that it looks functional. The result looks functional because of the mixture of the randomized result and the manual modeling. Okay, so let's move on to this part here. And this part will be the cloth. And we're going to use random loop extrude here to create some kind of mechanism look. Random panels, increase the subdivision, decrease the panel size. Let's try a walk and play with the panel seed. So it's all about take your time with the settings to really get the something interesting and functional at the same time. So somebody said that they are not getting the same result, same patterns as I am in this. Okay, we might. That's because the it's random, so randomized operation. So I'm going to extract the faces. Oops. Okay, and this I'm going to mirror in the X, Y, and Z. So I have symmetry in the Z axis without affecting the source object. And afterwards, I may or may not delete the extract proxy mesh. So we have symmetry, and let's use 3%. Okay. So the size of the notches corresponds to the size of the subdivided faces. Also, also dependent or depending on your results in geometry. So I'm not gonna. I was about to use the mark sharp only, but let's not use it because you don't have it. So I'm here to actually just demo the random flow version 2.0 and all the tools that are in it. Okay, this one here. Oh, we didn't include this one for the. Okay. Oh, it wasn't included. Okay. So let's just include this in the mechanism. No wait. Let's extract this as well, and using the extract of random flow, and then auto mirror this in the X, Y, and Z. I have this, and then quad slice. Okay, using view. There we go, and this one. Let's try and cut this to make the faces bigger. Okay, let's try the random loop extrude and increase the subdivision. Oh, there's a lot of triangles in the border. So, what do I do about? Yeah. Okay, let's try random panels and then on top of that use learn random loop extrude. So if one solution, if one method doesn't work for you, you can just switch. Let's try walk, school, okay, radial, and let's look something that uh let's look for a pattern that looks okay and also looks cool but also looks functional. If you see a random seed that you like, and you can just control C or hovering over the property and go look at some more. And if you want to return, just control V to paste. Or remember the number and type it manually afterwards. Okay, so the resulting pattern is dependent on the underlying topology. Remember that? So if you have a circular pattern, then the resulting randomized panel cut details will also follow those faces or edge loops. Okay, let's try and go with this. You can always go in and push and pull. Let's flatten this. And also X quad slice. And 0.01. And let's try random panels here. So I'm just layering the result. So using the same using the random operators again on a random result. So, okay, let's go with the cloth, panel cloth, and that's it's too much. Don't just mirror. And two. Let's try and coax out the wrinkles. So that's a bit sharp. Maybe decrease the pressure. One, three, two. Let's see if fractal does anything. Okay. Pressure is two, three, eight. Both two. Let's set the frames to 5. Okay, it's still a bit sharp. I want it flatter. Point 0.2 by point 0.2. So it's pressure is supposed to do that. Let's try mass. Nothing. Mass. Maybe shrink. Yeah, shrink. There we go. Just like that. And increase the using the fractal to coax out some wrinkles. Um, Bake frames to 10. Four, 5, 3, 1.05. And so that's the mass. Okay, I forgot to play with the cloth seed. Let's go back to 1. It's this one. Okay, it's the mass. I'm gonna increase the nope. Okay, just 2. Smooth. Smooth actually doesn't do anything. So we have the creases. Okay. Shade smooth. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay. For the insides, are this mirrored? Yes, it is. Let's do a bit of okay. Let's repair the wire because we use limited dissolve on this. J. I'm using J to connect the vertices. J and J. GG for grab to slide the edge. This one here. So this one is not gonna subdivide because it's an ingon, but that's okay. Let's try the random panels here and increase the island size. We have 2 notches. Okay, there we go. And oh, there's a lot to repair here. So J. So instead of using quad slice, it's not optimized for this kind of surface. So it's much faster if I just use the good old vertex connect, which is activated using the JHAT key. Playing around with the, there we go. You can use that. And then we can probably create some of our own designs here. Yeah, I should have, wait, go to disable limited dissolve since I'm just going to use one subdivision. If I go past number one, you can see that there's already banding. There we go. It's much simpler to look at. And always draw something here. Extrude it out. See what it looks like. Okay. Inset, then Alt S to bring it out. That's good. There's doubles here. Distance. And there we go. Okay. So now we're going to design this part here and mirror this in the X and Y axis. Okay, there we go. And use random panels. Use limited dissolve and increase the inset thickness and then increase the distance for clip center to get rid of the center line. Okay, now let's just play with the settings in order to get a real cool pattern. So let's try 5 degrees. No. Okay, let's just fix the topology afterwards to get rid of the shading error. About this one. So something simple. Start with 2. Here we go. That's cool. Yeah. Let's just create some extrusion here. And some kind of handle here. Let's try quad slice. Uh, Inset, and then Control E, bridge the edge loops, and delete the inner interface. So we have that. And then make flat faces. Let's try the random panels. Only one. Yeah, just that. Just a line. I think it actually looks cool. With just a line. Okay, so I don't really use the. Let's still try and use the or maybe not in this case. Wait, right here. Let's try and use the random loop extruder. Random loop. Use the subdivision. Find something that looks okay. Point zero 0.01, point zero 0.01, and point zero 0.01. Okay, so let's try and close it up using random panels. Increase the depth, increase the thickness, and decrease the panel size. And let's use the remove panels option. Let's look for a pattern that looks okay. So don't worry about topology and all the other messy stuff that you can see while you're working. You can clean it all after you finish with a model. Okay, just focus on the design. Now let's create the rocks. Okay, hold on. They create the rocks. Let's create a proxy. Uh, Scrub faces. Oops, and enter. Okay, I'm going to mirror this in the X and Y axis, or maybe not. Oh yeah, mirror it, then apply it. So you have the that mesh. Okay, I'm going to use this for the random scatter. Try and see if I can create hardly not. Wait, rocks this way. Okay. Or fill the canister with cubes this way. Uniform size. Wonder how many. Okay, it's 200. Let's try. Okay, let's not include the side faces. Random scatter. And that explode. No. Margin. No. Margin cluster. Margin. Use mirror. No, don't use mirror. Well, yeah. It won't work because we're not using mirror modifier. Size. Okay. Not uniform. Okay. Uniform scale. And then let's just try this. Hopefully it works. Hopefully. This is the. I hope it works. P. Loose parts. Okay. Then G. Control G. Then rocks. So if I want to select them all again, Shift G on the object that's included in the collection and use collection. There we go. This may or may not crash. I hope it doesn't. Um, Oops. 10, and then strength is 0.5, and the size is 0.3. Okay, and we have the texture variation for each object, and also we have object scale. Okay, let's not try object scale. Object rotation. Okay, this our rock collection. Supposedly they give superpowers to those who can eat them. So yeah, if you can eat the rocks, you can have the whole universe. Then this is the big shape, and we'll have the secondary shape. We'll have the strength of 0.1 and size of 0.05, and increase the subdivision or the cuts. This matter, and we're going to this smoothing is for the source mesh after being subdivided and before being displaced. Okay, this one here, the smooth and the repeat. Let's try and use other noises. Okay, let's increase the size 0.1, 0.15, and use Blender Original. Okay, 0.05, just 5 smoothing, 0.1 strength. Okay, let's just lower down the size, 0.08. There we go. And increase the subdivision a bit. Pray it doesn't crash. There we go. Might have to change this algorithm for this size. Maybe scale the object before being after the displacement. Oh, yeah. Make yeah. After the displacement. So strength is 0.08. We're gonna make some convincing rocks, but not too convincing. This is gonna be alien rocks. 0.5 for brightness. Okay, that looks alien-y. And let's use a smoothing for the subdivision. 1 to puff it up. Ooh, 125. What contrast? Yeah, it looks really alien now. If it wasn't alien before, it looks really alien. Okay, the other textures. Okay, Blender Original. And let's try to add some subsurf level. Point 0.8. Probably too much. I think this looks good. I think I better use this instead of the rock. Or this one. Yeah, let's just this one. Shade smooth. And then let's try and design the placement to make it more random. This is the rocks that are supposed to save the earth. from alien invasion. Okay. Um, let's try and put the materials on. I'm going to just slap on the materials from my previously made Blender files. But first, I'm going to create or apply some random vertex color just in case I need it. I'll need it. Lens. Okay. Uh, there's a lot more volume there than there is. Yeah, I guess the algorithm for the object scale is kind of messing it up. I should position the object scaling after the displacement in order to avoid the some of the really some of the displaced areas are pinching. Yeah, to avoid the pinching. So I'm going to append the materials that I need. Append. So from here, material, branch metal, everything. I think this is Shift G collection. Hide. And I gotta do something for the cloth as well. Append something for the cloth as well. It's been a while since I created some cloth, and uh, there we go. Material, branch cloth. Okay, so Shift GT. That selected all the mesh types, and Control Shift X for creative flow. Assign material. I think I'm going to be using the material here, and then the cloth, branch cloth, and Alt H for the rocks. Append mm, materials, the ground 01. I have no idea. Shift G collection, assign ground 01. Let's see. Okay. Activate this and go to materials view. And this is our ground. Activating HDRI and what? Okay. Looks kind of cool. Not really. We need tertiary details. Let's try ground. I'm going to get this is the elephant cylinder. I'm going to get this floor So Control C, and then just go back to the old file, and Control V. Then we have to adjust the elevation. Home, and go to camera, lights, camera, lock camera to view. Pick this one, and let's fix the metallic and roughness. Going to open the tree cavity mask and use it as multiply, and multiply it to the texture group. There's already plenty of copies of my cavity mask there because of the imported materials, I guess. So it's lagging while I'm recording, and it's lagging on the shaders window. I don't know why. So that's the So these node shaders, cavity mask, scratches, and quick dirt are also available in Gumroad and in Blender Market. So Got it. 0.8. That's why I hate recording with cheating. Now for the rocks, uh, let's make it bad. You, where's the normal, the roughness? Let's use the roughness for the emission to create some uh alien lights. Hologram, and here we're going to use the green light and adjust the color ramp. Yeah, there we go. Let's try a quick render. Probably not use the texture. Set this to 1. Want to use something else. Oops. Let's try Voronoi and control it with color ramp. Set the emission to 5. Instead of using this, 22.1. Let's try instead of mixing the shaders. Shader, emission, and now this will incorporate the green color. And this will instead control the result. And let's replace this to non-saturated color. So now to mix between rock and lights. Let's increase the and this. Okay. So don't be afraid to experiment with nodes. You can just it's as easy as connecting them with the other 6, 10. What's the opposite of yellow? Blue. Okay, let's try this. And 10. Okay, let's render. Let's see the result of the map range. Okay, so decrease this to 1.14. I think I forgot to switch on the screencast when I imported. Oh, just doesn't show up here. Okay, so that's for colored edge. And we can include here something that's for add. So add first and colored edge second. So this is just my process of composting. Feel free to follow it or not. Oh, it's lagging again. Okay, go. So yeah. So we have that, our sci-fi canister with some really strange rocks inside that can mutate persons into superhumans. So check this with track lights. You can make snap the 3D cursor anywhere on surface. So for example like that, and then make empty and focus. So that empty will be placed on the 3D cursor, and it will be used as the distance for the depth of field. So this one, and you can just uh, reposition it by clicking on any surface. Make sure that the 3D cursor snaps to the surfaces of objects, and click on this. Okay, let's render this. So you see how I just play around with the mapping of the lights of the texture I'm using for the emission. So this is a JE's placement texture that I'm using for the emission. So you can see how I just play with the mapping to get the results that I want. Let's render this using a higher sample like 128 to avoid getting rid of some of the details. And okay, so that is it for this video, and I hope you learned something on my process of using the add-on to create something like this. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Again, thank you for watching and have a nice day.